こんにちは、ハリケーンフットボールです。今回の教材は、川崎フロンターレの高井幸大に関する動画です。トッテナムホットスパーへの電撃移籍が決まったという高井幸大については、スパーズファンやプレミアリーグ関連のチャンネルでも多く取り扱われています。今回は、マンチェスターユナイテッドファンでありながら、他チームについても多く取り扱っている、アリスエシラフットボールでは、簡単なスタッツやプレー映像からの印象を元に、高井についての強みや弱み、トッテナムでどのように使われるのか、という話をしています。他にも若手の獲得がうまくいっていると話しつつ、特にヴスコヴィッチと高井は、ヨーロッパでも屈指の若手センターバックのコンビになるという話もしています。実際にどのように話しているのか、チェックしてみましょ
う。Well, this came out of absolutely nowhere. Reports are coming out saying that Tottenham have agreed a £5 million deal to sign 21-year-old Japanese centre-back Kota Takai, and that is a record fee for a J-League player. This is a centre-back, and it looks like he's going to be part of Tottenham's first-team squad next season. It's not like a Vuskovic where he stays for a bit. It's not like a Yang where he goes out on loan. This is somebody that's going to be in and around the squad next season, somebody that's going to play, and it looks like a little bit of a gem signing for Tottenham Hotspur, one of the highest-rated players out in Japan. And you know what's actually mad? And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't sit here and watch the Japanese league unless, big clubs are playing them in pre-season, you see them in pre-season, all of that. But I was talking to one of my friends who is Japanese, I'm going to say maybe 2 weeks ago, and he was talking about there being so many gems out in Asia, and the Asian market he thinks is going to go off in the next 10 years. He thinks there's going to be so many talents there. And one of the first names he said to me was Kota Takai. One of the first names he said to me at centre-back, he said, can see Benfica, Porto, maybe even a bigger club go in for him. And that friend, I messaged him. I said, you want to jump on a video, talk about Kota Takai, because you clearly know a lot about him. Unfortunately, he's not a video guy, but he's given me some notes. He's helped me write some notes on the player, and we're going to talk about Kota Takai and how good he is. But it's quite mad that he mentioned it 2 weeks ago, so he's helped me a lot with some notes. Because, look, I've done some research, I've watched some clips, I've looked at the stats, I've looked at the underlying numbers, I watched a little bit of footage on this guy, but he was a big help, because I ain't going to pretend I sit here watching Japanese league. Do you know what I mean? So let's talk about Kota Takai and how good he is. So here are some statistics. This came out in May. 93rd percentile for successful defensive actions. 93rd percentile for aerial duels. He's 6'3". He's very good in the air. Two of the things I was told about him is very good in the air, very good with his feet. 90th percentile for forward passes and 81st percentile for pass completed. This was from Data MB that have very good stats when looking at players. I'd highly recommend them. They compared them to centre-backs in his league, and he's literally first for possession one, pass completion, headed goals. He's second for goals, third for interceptions, fourth for possession-adjusted interceptions, I think that means, fourth for shots blocked, fifth possession one. A very good all-round player, and out of all the talents in the Japanese league, he is one of the highest rated. Again, more statistics on the player as well. In his J-League, interceptions first, possession one first, all of that. But I want to talk about this, and I want to talk about the player, his strengths, his weaknesses, what his role could be at Tottenham, how he's going to fit in at Tottenham in a second, but also Tottenham's strategy that I quite like. Like, as a Manchester United fan, I think Tottenham are doing really well in this bit of football. So first of all, Alice Gold, who was one of the best sources of Tottenham information, said that Kota Takai was identified by Spurs technical director Johan Lang and his staff as being able to step into Premier League, following in the footsteps of other young signings at the club in recent years like Burble, Sarr, Udogie. You look at Burble, what a talent. You look at Sarr, I know he didn't have his best season this year, but there's a definite talent there. And you look at Destiny Udogie, and there's a phenomenal talent there. And all three of those are dubs. In my opinion, Burble and Udogie, I think, have done a little bit more than Sarr so far. And this could be another one at centre-back. And it's very obvious Tottenham need a centre-back. They need one for depth because of Mickey van der Ven. I think if Romero goes, Tottenham will go for like a Branthwaite Murillo type player. If Romero goes, they'll go for a big one. But if Romero stays, with Vuskovic coming in, with Kota Takai, Tottenham have a very good young core. Kota Takai, Vuskovic, Burble, Gray, Mikey Moore, Tell, Yang, Odebear, the Doggie's still very young. Tottenham have this very young core. And Kota Takai is another smart signing to add to that. 6'4", 6'3". He's physically dominant centre-back, known for his presence, reading of the game, being a good box defender. Probably more of a long-term Romero replacement. But if you look at his heat map and his statistics, he's predominantly played left centre-back this season, and he's known to be able to play left and right centre-back, be very two-footed. He's also represented the Japanese national team at such a young age already, showcased maturity, international potential, and he's a long-term investment. Let's say he goes to Spurs, and actually, you know what, he's not it. Spurs might sell him for 8 million to Brentford in 3 years. You never know. Do you know what I mean? He could be one of those. 5 million, yeah, it's a safe bet. Manchester United had the opportunity years ago to sign Moises Caicedo for 4 million. I think he gave us priority over Brighton. We had the opportunity to sign Moises Caicedo for 4 million. We didn't have a midfield at that point. It was such a obvious deal. And Man United turned down signing Moises Caicedo for 4 million. And people go, 4 million, you might as well do it. 5 million, you might as well do it. Do you know what I mean? So, again, this is sort of notes helped by one of my friends who is Japanese. But this is some information on him. Known for anticipation, clean tackles, good positioning, very rarely caught out of shape. Reads the game well, good game reading, good game awareness, intelligence, very good trait to have. Because I think defending isn't just about physical. It's about intelligence. It's about understanding. It's about reading of the game. It's a very underrated aspect that centre-backs need. He's obviously aerially dominant, and it's crazy that Tottenham have brought in Vuskovic and him, two of the most aerially dominant centre-backs for their age outside of like the main leagues as well. So that's quite interesting. Tottenham, I think, know that the Premier League's very physical, and you can sign a technical player, but they might not do it in the Premier League. Like Anthony, believe it or not, is a good technical player, but he's never been able to do it in the Premier League because of the physicality. And I think Tottenham are aware, you need the technical ability, you need the physical ability, and he ticks those boxes. He's quick across the ground for a side, decent recovery pace, and quite aggressive, happy to step up, happy to defend transitions. Again, I pointed that out from some of the clips I saw. He seems quite happy to step up in a higher line if need be. Now, there's a massive difference between playing in the J League and playing in the Premier League, and it'll be interesting to see how he applies that to the Premier League. But there was some encouraging signs there. In terms of his build-up play, he's comfortable on the ball, comfortable playing out from the back, comfortable at playing passes and playing smart forward passes. Despite being right-footed, he's comfortable enough to play out on the left-hand side, bringing a bit of tactical flexibility, bringing in much-needed further depth for Van de Ven. Now, look, he could be a huge drop-off from Van de Ven. Van de Ven is just a monster of monsters for centre-backs, and Tottenham clearly miss his presence when he's gone. So with that being said, I think Tottenham, I'd still look at an experienced centre-back that can cover Van de Ven, but him and Vuskovic coming in as cover, if they reach their potential, it's very good. It's very good. And as I said, confident under pressure, happy to be pressed. Of course, it's different in the Premier League, the amount you're pressed, the lack of space you get, but he looks good. He's played for Japan. He looks very good. He looks very confident for his age. In terms of mentality, playing first-team football for Japan before age 20, so one of Asia's most promising defenders. Shows good work ethic, discipline, traits that suit the Premier League. And Tottenham have a technical team. And Lang has done a good job in bringing in Bergvall and bringing in Vuskovic and bringing in this guy. And Bergvall's obviously proven to be a success. But I feel like Tottenham's transfer model, I think it works. Like, I quite like it as a rival. Like, it's risky, and I think they need to go and get some players that are good now. Like, if I was Tottenham, like, the 3 players I would look at getting would be like Baleba, it would be like Boom if you could have got them, but probably like Eze now, and like someone like Murillo. Like, they're 3 players that I would go and get if I was Tottenham. But you've also got these young players that can be backups, and something Man United are doing now is trying to find young gems as backups. So when Lisandro Martinez got injured, we brought Aiden Heaven for 1.5 million from Arsenal, and he's been excellent. He's the backup. Diego Leon is the backup to, and Harry Amis is the backup to Dorgu now. And I think it's quite good to make sure you've got a ready-made player in each position, but have young players that can learn and be backups on lower wages. It's becoming more cost-efficient. Oh, slides are gone. I was just going to talk about how I think he could fit in at Tottenham, because it looks like he's going to be around. It looks like he's going to be involved. So I assume he's going to be rotating with Mickey van der Ven. Supporting the left centre-back role. I know he's a right centre-back, but I'm assuming he'll probably rotate and support Mickey van der Ven in that left centre-back role. I think he would probably be a long-term Romero replacement. I mean, that's, to fill Romero's boots would be difficult. I mean, I think it would take a Mark Gay type player to replace Romero, but this is a player that's young, this is a player that's got bags of potential. You look at sort of Saliba, you look at sort of a lot of other young players, how they've come in and actually give it a year or two and they're like the real deal now. And they're probably annoyed at me for mentioning an Arsenal player, but, you know, Saliba wasn't that highly rated when Arsenal first signed him. You know, he was a prospect, he was a talent. I mean, he was highly rated, but it was like, Arteta sent him out on loan for reasons and stuff. And then he finally got his chance and he proved, okay, he's a very good defender. I think he could develop into a very good defender. He complements the profile of players that Tottenham are looking for. Physically good, technically good. Continuing on into more. So why do I think this is a smart signing? 20 years of age, or 21 now, £5 million, influence in Japan as well. You look at Tomiyasu, you look at Endo. There's some really good footballers starting to come out of Japan and talents. I'm sure Daniel Levy will like the idea of the Asian market with Son going, you know, Yang coming in, the Asian market. He's going to look at it from a marketing perspective, but the more shirts you sell, the more tourists you get. And I know some people complain about it, but the more money you bring in to then spend more in the future, it's a good thing. I know there's a lot of complaints about that. You know, it's good to have your fan base as big as possible, but he's got to be signed for the right reason. Is he good enough? Yes, potentially. Well, I mean, I'm not saying he's good enough now, but is he a good enough talent to spend $5 million on? Yes. It's not like he's just been signed because he's a good Japanese talent. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's something there. Like, considering my friend pointed him out the other day, he's clearly a very highly rated player. If developed properly, could be a really good Premier League player. Short-term depth, long-term planning could be a good deal. You also look at the fact that Tottenham have been smashing it with these young signings. Archie Gray, Bergwall, Mikey Moore, Vuskovic, and Yang, all in the top 50 players born after the 1st of January 2006. I will say Bergwall should be above Archie Gray for me. But again, Tottenham have some very good youngsters on their hand. And Vuskovic obviously got 7 goals this season as a centre-back. This is obviously Tottenham's other centre-back coming in. 18 centre-back. He's coming in now at a really good season in the Belgian Pro League. 7 goals, 16 years of football is when he broke, 16 years of age is when he broke into football. And he just looks like a monster. Again, not watched a lot of him, but from the clips, from what you see, he looks like a monster. He looks like one for the future. He looks like a player. You know, he's known for being a good ball winner, good in the air, aerial beast with the goals he scores, a secret weapon, composed in possession. Tottenham might have 2 of the best young centre-backs in football, you know, 2 of them. Like, there's some very good young centre-backs in football. United have got Euro, Real Madrid have got Huijsen. You know, you can't compare them to Euro and Huijsen yet because they've not played in the Premier League or football at a top league level. But Tottenham have looked to make 2 what I call quite smart centre-back signings. So, yeah. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope it was clear. Again, don't know loads about the player, so I'm going off a lot of what I was told by someone that does watch the player, that does rate the player, going off, obviously, my research, the stats, the analytics, the research I've done, the clips I've watched, and just the fact that he costs £5 million and he's got good physical and technical attributes. And I just think, price, what do you want in a player? He's got that. I think it looks like it could be a good bit of business for Tottenham. Tottenham fans, this came out of nowhere. Let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching. Bye.
次は解説です。今回の動画は難しいボキャブラリーがほとんどなかったので、過去に解説したものも多く、簡単なものが多くなっていますが、本日の解説をチェックしてみましょ
う。Well, this came out of absolutely nowhere.
Out of nowhere は、何かが突然現れたり起きたりした時に使える便利な英語表現です。日常会話だけでなく、映画やニュース、スポーツ実況などでもよく登場します。特に驚きや予想外の展開を強調したい時にぴったりで、彼がどこからともなく現れた。突然の雨が降ってきた。など、意外性を表す際によく使います。文頭、文中のどちらにも置けて、簡単にインパクトのある表現が作れるのも魅力です。ネイティブらしいフレーズを身につけたい人におすすめの言い回しです。
Well, this came out of absolutely nowhere. Well, this came out of absolutely nowhere. It's going to be in and around the squad next season.
In and around は、ある範囲の中心とその近辺の両方を指す便利な表現です。場所に使えば、何かの中や周辺に。時間に使えば、何かの前後にという意味になります。とても汎用性が高く、地理的にも抽象的な概念にも使え、特にニュースやビジネス英語、スポーツ解説などでよく登場します。文中では副詞句として柔軟に使えるので、覚えておくと便利です。
that's going to be in and around the squad next season. That's going to be in and around the squad next season. And it looks like a little bit of a gem signing for Tottenham Hotspur.
ジェムは直訳で宝石ですが、とても素晴らしい人やものを意味する比喩表現としてもよく使われます。例えば、才能のある若手選手、親切な人、見逃されがちな名作映画など、目立たないけれど価値のある存在を褒めるときにぴったりの単語です。特にヒデンジェムという表現は、知る人ぞ知る名店や穴場などに使われます。友達や仕事仲間を褒めるときにも自然に使えるポジティブな単語です。
And it looks like a little bit of a gem signing for Tottenham Hotspur. And it looks like a little bit of a gem signing for Tottenham Hotspur. I've looked at the underlying numbers.
アンダーライングは根本にあるや基礎となるといった意味を持つ形容詞です。例えば、問題の背後にある原因や表面からは見えにくい構造や傾向を説明する際に使われます。会話や文章の中で物事の本質を探る表現として非常に便利な単語で、トイックやニュース英語でもよく見かける語彙の一つです。
I've looked at the underlying numbers. I watched a little bit of footage on this guy.
フーテッジは、ある出来事を映した録画映像や記録フィルムを表す名詞です。ニュースや映画、監視カメラ、YouTube など、あらゆる映像媒体で使われる重要な単語です。例えば、セキュリティフーテッジ、エクスクルーシブフーテッジは、独占映像というように使われます。動画コンテンツを扱う際には必ず出てくる単語なので、しっかり覚えておきましょう。
I watched a little bit of footage on this guy. And all three of those are dubs, in my opinion.
ダブという単語は意味がとても多く、文脈によって使い方が大きく変わります。カジュアルなスラングでは W である、勝利を意味し、ゲーム実況や SNS で、勝ち取るや、勝ったぜなどの意味で使われます。また、アニメなどで使われる、吹き替え版もダブと呼ばれ、サブタイトルの省略形であるサブ、と対になる表現です。音楽ジャンルでは、レゲエを起源とするダブミュージックを指すなど、多義語としてのダブの理解が語彙力アップにつながります。
And all three of those are dubs, in my opinion. To fill Romero's boots would be difficult.
フィル・サムワンズ・ブーツは、特にイギリス英語圏で使われるイディオムで、偉大な前任者の代役を立派に果たすという意味があります。例えば、有名な選手や上司の後任になる人に対して使われ、このポジションを引き継ぐのは容易ではないといったニュアンスを含みます。また、より口語的には、思い切りやる、や、好きなだけ楽しむといった意味でも使われることがあり、文脈によって訳し方が異なるのが特徴です。ネイティブが使う柔らかい表現として覚えておくと便利です。
To fill Romero's boots would be difficult.
いかがでしたか？日本人の友人に高井幸太については聞いていたというアリスですが、やはり J リーグで最高の選手は誰かと聞かれれば、今は高井幸太以外にはいないと言えるほどでしょう。実際に J リーグでのスタッツを見れば支配的とも言えるもので、期待感しかなくなったのはないでしょうか。実際にプレー映像も見た上で、これからトッテナムの将来を担うほどの、世界でも有数のセンターバックになるという期待感さえ感じているように思えましたね。クロアチア代表でもデビューしたブスコビッチに対する期待感も大きいのがわかりますし、この2人の若いセンターバックが、ミッキーファンでフェントロメロとローテーションを組み、怪我などがあった場合の控え役として、プレーする状況を想像すると、楽しみでしかありません。500万ポンドという J リーグからの移籍の最高額となる金額でも、ほんの1対2年で鈴木ザイオンのように、1000万や2000万ポンドへ急上昇するポテンシャルもあり、さらにその先には5000万や、それ以上の評価額になれば、500万ポンドでの獲得が、驚きをもって称賛される世界も想像できます。大きすぎる期待やプレッシャーにも弱くないと思える選手ですが、まずは最初の数試合で、良い印象を持たれるようなプレーをすることが大事だと思いますので、デビュー戦から、プレシーズンマッチから、楽しみにして応援したいと思います。本日もご視聴いただきありがとうございました。またすぐにお会いしましょう。